Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's obviously going to be a video without quite as much energy as I tried to give normally, and quite as much smiling and cheering and blind optimism as I usually try to give. It's obviously the night after. It's about 2 hours after England have just lost their shootout. And yeah, I just thought I'd give my reaction as I have done with the previous knockout games. And yeah, do a bit of analysis. I'm probably not going to go too much into the detail of stats and things like that. I think I'll probably talk from the heart a bit more because obviously that's the overriding feeling right now. Everyone is heartbroken, and it's not because we didn't think we'd do it. It's not because we didn't try. It's because of it not going right on the night in the end, I think. And as cracking as England were through the tournament, and at points we were cracking in the final as well, the goal we scored early on was absolutely fantastic. Luke Shaw found that pocket of space that I thought we were going to start to find a little bit more. We did find it a couple of times, but once we'd got through that little trap, Italy seemed to close the gap a little bit more. We were causing them problems wide and things like that, but couldn't get the second goal. And then second half, we decided to sit. It had been a tactical decision from Gareth Southgate to try not to concede. And when Italy got the goal, it ended up being the wrong one. And if Italy don't get that goal, we obviously win 1-0. And I'm not going to sit here and say, if I was Gareth Southgate, I'm going to do this. Because quite frankly, I've done that earlier on before the tournament, and there's so many people saying that right now. It's very easy to say that in hindsight. It's very easy to say, if I was Gareth Southgate, I wouldn't have put this person on a penalty. If I was Gareth Southgate, I wouldn't have chosen this formation. I would have brought Grealish on earlier. I would have done this, that kind of thing. And it's just utter rubbish, isn't it? Really, talking from hindsight like that, it's just, you know, it's just BS, quite frankly. And the amount of people that you get that think they're the be all and end all of management because of, you know, saying something that's really obvious. Obviously, at the end of the game, you would have played a different player if it had meant scoring a goal. If Italy hadn't got the goal, you would have attacked them in case they got the goal. You know, obviously knowing that they, you know what I mean. It's just one of those things where it's easier to say in hindsight, and it's easy to be a Twitter manager, if you like, you know, someone who thinks they know what they're saying. And yeah, so I'm not going to bring any of that to the table. I'm not going to say I think tactical decisions should have gone in a different way, because quite frankly, throughout the whole of this tournament, Gareth Southgate's been nothing short of an absolute miracle. He has done things that, as England fans, we've witnessed and thought, geez, okay, that's worked out then for us very well. And I think to say anything other than he and his team and everyone at those Euros for England is not a hero. Of course they are. Of course they are. To say anything other than that is lunacy. Lunacy. It's our best ever finish at a Euros. It's our second best finish in tournament football of all time. And we just have to remember that, and I think, and the good times that this team have given us should outweigh this one bad, because they do come back heroes, every single one of them. The backroom staff, the management staff, the physios, the masseuses, the social media team, everyone, and every single one of those 26 players, even the ones that didn't get on the pitch. I think it was Steve Holland who was saying that Connor Cody was his player of the tournament because of what he's done behind the scenes. And I think when you've got players like that behind you, then you have shown that you've got a really good dressing room. And I think they come back heroes, and that is all they come back as, heroes. And anyone saying anything else is a lunatic, quite frankly. On that subject, in fact, I just want to say that the racial abuse of Saka, of Sancho, of Rashford immediately after they had missed their penalties is nothing short of disgusting. And those people do not represent England fans. They don't represent England. They don't represent the human race. These people are so far away from being a fellow human being. I don't know what to say about it other than it can't happen anymore. It needs to stop, this inherent systemic racism running through Twitter, running through social media after things like this, in the name of football, in the name of England, in the name of this kind of thing. And it just needs to stop now, because quite frankly, I'm getting fed up with it. And I'm not getting fed up of hearing about it, because I want to hear it every single time it happens, because it needs to stop. And we need to be coming out and saying that these people do not represent us, and they don't. I stand with the people subjected to this abuse. I stand with anyone who stands against racism. And I can't believe I'm having... I don't have to say this. I don't have to say this, but I should. I should say it. And that's why I'm saying it now. And quite frankly, if you're watching this video and you thought that you'd tweet something to Saka and call him an N-word, or some form of primate or something like that, then you are scum. And you are not representative of this country. You are not representative of the human race. And you need to stop and take a good hard look at yourself, quite frankly. And I know I'm a white person, and I don't understand the struggle and the situation that people have been put in for years and years and years and years. And I don't understand that. And I'm trying to. But at the very least, I can stop and say to my fellow peers, to anyone that's watching this video, to anybody who supports England and sees this video, I need you to stop doing that, because it's quite frankly just disgusting. It's just horrible. Why can't people just be kind? And this question plagues my mind every single day. Why can't people just be kind? Why does it matter if England take a knee before kickoff, for example? If you're the type of person that has booed and spoken out about people taking the knee before kickoff, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. Because you are speaking out against something that does not affect you in the slightest. The fact that they've taken a knee means, oh, the match has gone on for 3 or 4 seconds longer, and you've come out and said, oh, we're bored of it now. Well, no. The fact that you're having to say that is the very root of the problem, and it is part of the problem. I don't want to dwell on this for much longer, because I have not come here to make an anti-racism video. I've come here to make England did very well, and I want to commend them. And I'm sad that we didn't win, but also I'm happy and proud of the lads for everything they've done at this tournament, and I really, truly am. And I truly am happy with how they've done at this tournament. I mean, it would have been fantastic if it came home. It really would have been. And I think that that's perhaps what this country needed right now, after Brexit and COVID and everything that's happened over the last 5 to 10 years, specifically in Britain and England. And yeah, obviously I'm sad we didn't win. And at the end of the day, it's a game of football. It's a football match, and it shouldn't be that kind of thing that galvanizes a nation. But that's the problem. It is. That's the kind of thing that everyone gets behind and everyone feels a part of, no matter if you're black, white, Asian, any colour, any creed, anything. You feel a part of something when sport comes around. And I'm hoping the Olympics can do something for that. And I'm worried that with there's no fans at the Olympics, it might lose something. It might lose the attraction. And with this disappointment, not as many people might tune into the Olympics and not see the brilliant work that our athletes do and get behind Britain as a whole. It would be nice to see Britain getting behind each other as a whole again, like we were in 2012. The passion in 2012 of the London 2012 Games is something I think we should be striving for every single day, because it was incredible, and it really was. And I've realised I'm rambling on and on about the country rather than a football match, which is my purpose as a YouTuber, is to talk about the football. But my mind's been swayed elsewhere after I've seen a ridiculous number of tweets and responses and just horrible, horrible things tonight. And it's distracted me from what I originally intended to make a video out of. So apologies for that. Apologies that I've had to... No, you know what? I don't apologise for it. I do not apologise for it, because it needs to be said and more people need to say it. And more people need to have courage to say that kind of thing and stop that kind of thing. And I wish in the past I would have had more courage to speak out about that in public, in front of people, because I've been to football matches before and seen it from a distance, and I've never been a part of it, but I've also never stepped in either, and that's why I feel like I need to talk now as well, to say something, because more people should say something, and more people will be better if more people said something. And there are other things I want to talk about as well, about gender inequality and transphobia and homophobia and various other things that all go hand in hand with football these days, tragically so. I'm not going to address them in this video, because otherwise this video will just be a half-an-hour rant where I talk about all of the problems with football fans and various other things, and toxicity and things like that. So I'm not going to talk about those things now, but I felt like I needed to say something about the abuse that's been received tonight and how against it I am, before we then move on and talk about the football, really, because at the end of the day, this is a game. This is it's the thing. How can you give so much hate and so much horrific toxicity and inhumane responses to a game? Like, at the end of the day, it's a game. It is a game. And yes, it means incredible amounts to people, but it doesn't mean more than your humanity, surely. Surely it doesn't mean more than your humanity. But apparently to some people it does. And there was other stuff as well, like the whole domestic abuse increases when England play, let alone when we lose. It goes up even more when we lose. I tweeted the stat the other day. Someone else tweeted it and I retweeted the stat the other day. I think it's 38% it goes up to when England lose, which is just embarrassing. If you feel like you're so angry about the football that you need to go and beat your wife or husband, you know, either way, it's not just men who do it, but any domestic abuse, if you feel like you need to do that after a football match, then who are you? Why? It's just disgusting. If you've ever done that, then you need to repent, because quite frankly that's disgusting as well. And yeah, I'm not going to go into all the other issues that come with football, and there are a lot, and there is a minority, and they are a minority in football. I would say most football fans are sane, normal human beings who believe that equality should be a thing, that it doesn't matter what colour you are, and everyone should just be together and support their team. And the majority of football fans are that, but there is a loud minority right now who are saying some really horrible things, and I just felt like I needed to say stop, and please stop. There are times when I've been to football matches and I've heard the vast negativity and the hatred and the things like that, and it's made me not want to go anymore. And I'm not even the subject of those views. I'm not even the person that they're directing those views at. So I can't even imagine what someone must be feeling when thousands of people at a football match, or thousands of people online, or hundreds of people, you know, thousands and thousands of people are saying horrible things, or DMing them in their Instagram DMs, or, you know, just saying horrible things. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine what it's like to be that person and receive that amount of hate for something that they cannot change, and for something that they didn't choose, and for something that, quite frankly, doesn't affect the person who's saying these horrible things. Like, it doesn't matter. It does not matter to your daily life if someone did something in a football match. But at the end of the day, if you come home from a football match and you feel like someone has wronged you in some way by existing, then you need to find a new hobby, and you need to find that hobby on your own and be on your own, because you are affecting people negatively around the world and that's not okay. And I'm probably going to cut some of this out because I'm getting impassioned and perhaps not factually correct in certain situations, and I want to be factually correct. So if there are a couple of jump cuts here, I imagine the majority of this video will be mostly uncut, because I've spoke impassionedly and I've spoke to myself, like I've spoken my thoughts and from the heart, and I've spoken honestly, and I think that's an important thing. But yeah, if there's anything cut out of this video that is, you know, it would be something that's factually incorrect, or so if there's a lot of jump cuts suddenly, it's because of that. I'm not holding back. I'm not holding back. That's not what's happening here. Yeah, so back to the football match, because at the end of the day, that's what this is. So yeah, anyway, back to the game. Let's go back to the game and talk about England and Italy. What went wrong, what didn't go right, and why we should be proud of this team. The game got away from us a little bit. We dominated the first 20 minutes or so. We got the goal, obviously. Fantastic, wonderful goal from Luke Shaw. Play from Harry Kane to pick out the long pass to the right was fantastic. Everything about that goal was the epitome of what England set up to do and what we can do against a team like Italy, and we'll continue to do. I imagine we will do pretty well at the World Cup in 2022. I'll be surprised if we don't get to the knockout stages at the very least. This team is excellent. They are excellent footballers, and we have a foundation of young players and quality players who will take this team far in the future. And I firmly believe that. And I think if we're singing It's Coming Home next year in Qatar, then I'll be there right with you singing along. And of course, a reaction to my predictions of the tournament, where I did predict England to win it, will come out at some point this week, and I'll break down where I went wrong with my predictions. But I'm always going to be an It's Coming Home man. I'm always going to be someone who tries to be positive and hopeful, because I think positivity and hope are things that should be spread across the world, because they keep everyone together. And that's why we've got so far in this tournament, is because the country was behind us, and it's because the quality of those players and the quality of the management team and the quality of the people behind England this year has got them to where they've got to. Gareth Southgate has been an absolute mastermind throughout this tournament. I mean, we went to Germany, we played Germany's system, and we beat the Germans at their own system. We game managed against Denmark. We destroyed the Ukrainians. We game managed against Croatia and got the win. We game managed against the Czech Republic and we got the win. We barely conceded a goal throughout the tournament. We've been fantastic. We really have. You have to admit that England have been fantastic in this tournament. If you're a naysayer and you think, oh, we're a bit lucky to get to the final and then we've mucked it up, then what are you watching? What are you watching? What do you not understand football, like, realistically? But yeah, I'm looking at individual player performances, and I don't think there's anyone on the pitch I can single out for not playing well. I thought Kane played well, Sterling, Saka, Rice had a fantastic game, and I was a little bit disappointed when he got substituted off. I felt perhaps it was probably because he was tiring, maybe because he'd done so much and his striding runs forward and like side steps past defenders, things I'd not seen him do in an England shirt consistently. Maybe, you know, a flash of brilliance here and there, but he did it multiple times and just kept dribbling forward. He was so good, and credit to Declan Rice, who was probably my man of the match. Him and Luke Shaw were probably my man of the matches, and then Jordan Pickford kept us in it with a couple of good saves and then was fantastic in the shootout. The save from the Jorginho penalty, where that was the moment where I thought maybe we're going to do this, and then unfortunately things didn't unfold that way. But Pickford's save of the penalty was quite frankly wonderful. To wait for Jorginho to do his run-up, to wait for him to do the silly jump, to wait for him to make the decision of where to put it and outdo him in his own mind game was wonderful from Jordan Pickford, and he has been a hero throughout this tournament, as is everyone, but in particular Jordan Pickford, who could not have done more this tournament. He could not have done more, and I apologise to him for not having him as my first choice goalkeeper in the build up to this tournament, because he has proved to me that he is England's #1 and will continue to be until someone new comes out who's world class. There needs to be, if a world class goalkeeper comes out in the next few years and overtakes his place, then that's the only way he's going to lose his place, because he's fantastic and he puts on that England shirt and he embodies it. And Jordan Pickford should play every game for England from now on until either he doesn't want to anymore or someone new comes through who's incredible. The back two, Maguire and Stones, were fantastic, and with Kyle Walker with them today into a back three, Kyle Walker mopped up at the back a number of times. His pace is so important. He was beating Chaser to the ball, he was beating Insigne to the ball. Those players are quick. I thought we perhaps let Chaser have a little bit too much on his right foot, but it was nothing that caused us too many problems. The one save from Pickford where he tipped it round on the floor was probably the only real sighter of goal that he had. And of course then he went off injured. And England were much more comfortable once he had gone off. The last 20 minutes of the second half, 15 minutes of the second half, England were on top and began to get back into the game. There was just a little bit of momentum, which I thought we needed to grab before we went into extra time, and we did do. Overall, the second half was Italy's, no doubt about that whatsoever, but the last 10 minutes or so, England got back into it, got a couple of chances, Stones and various things from free kicks and things like that. Once Grealish came on, Grealish made a real impact, and Grealish was excellent as a sub this tournament, and I don't think I'd have utilised him in any other way if I was Gareth Southgate. I think I said I wasn't going to say if I was Gareth Southgate and that kind of thing, but if I was Gareth Southgate, I don't think I'd have utilised him in any other way than he did, as a super sub to make impacts late on, because I think that's the plan all along, and it worked for us in 7 out of our 8 games, or however many games we played. I don't even know anymore. 6 out of 7. So who else? Just the whole team was fantastic. Phillips has really stepped up this tournament. He is a player that I wasn't really considering too much for a starting place, certainly with Henderson and Jude Bellingham in the wings, and he made that position his own. He made himself undroppable, and that's all you can ask from a player, is make yourself undroppable and you will play every game and keep doing what you're doing, and that's exactly what he did. And yeah, I thought he had a fantastic tournament. I'll probably do like a proper tournament review, which will include my reaction to my predictions at some point on the channel over the next couple of days, probably tomorrow, probably the day after, you know, a couple of days time, once the dust has settled. And yeah, so I think that's everything I've got to say, apart from I just want to reiterate one more time that every single one of those England players should come back a hero, because they have done this nation proud. They really, truly have done this nation proud. A penalty shootout didn't go our way, and that's all that separates us from being legends of the sport and legends and household names and things like that. But they should be anyway, because they've given everything to the badge this tournament. They've given everything to the flag, everything to Gareth Southgate, and everything to this nation. They've brought us up from a horrible, horrible last 18 months as a human species, let alone just Englishmen and Englishwomen. And I just think they are heroes. They are. You cannot deny what they've done at this tournament. We need to respect their names a little bit more than perhaps I've seen online tonight. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and if you want to see more of me, I'll leave my links down in the description to various things, Twitch and all that, but I'm not going to plug them heavily now. I don't think that's appropriate for the video that I think I've just made. But yeah, just remember, just be kind to one another. Just kindness, always kindness. And thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.